Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, crews work to contain a grass fire that started during last night's storms. The latest from the fire lines ahead. Plus, federal marshals track down a Victoria County man wanted on sex abuse and drug charges. Plus, U.S. Marshals arrest a fugitive wanted in a Victoria murder case, the multi-agency effort that led to his capture.
We are watching the west coast of Mexico as Tropical Storm Lorena. The storm's falling apart, but you can see the moisture already rolling into the deserts. That will be moving into Texas and affecting your weather over the weekend. I'll have all that coming up in a moment.
From wildfires in California to baseball-sized hail in Kansas, extreme weather impacts millions coast to coast. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Shauna Curry. The Espiritu fire in southern Victoria County is now 90% contained. Crews were first called out around 6:30 last night to a grass fire along Highway 77 in the McFadden area. Investigators say it started by lightning strikes. Firefighters from Victoria and several volunteer departments, along with the Texas Forest Service and Emergency Management, have all worked together to get it under control. By 3 o'clock this afternoon, fire had burned almost 200 acres, but no homes, buildings, or cattle were in danger. Officials are still asking people to steer clear of the area while crews finish up. And let's go now to Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez with a first look at the forecast. And Mac, we've had a decent amount of rain in the area, not only recently, but really throughout the year. So it seems like the ground would be too wet for fires like this to be started by lightning.
Well, yes, but you know, the greening up of some of the grasses, the native brush has not happened, so it's still on the dry side. So there is basically vegetation that causes the fires. And of course, the lightning that came through with the storm yesterday is blamed for that activity. Now we have to watch to the west because the remnants of that once tropical moisture storm are now rolling in. Already as of Saturday, we're expecting heavy rain in far west Texas. That's Saturday. Sunday, it gets into our area, and we have a pretty good chance that we're going to get some significant rainfall Sunday and Monday of the coming weekend. We'll certainly have all of that coming up for you, coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Destructive wildfires, damaging storms, and a new possible tropical storm threat looms off in the Atlantic. Laura Aguirre has more on extreme weather stretching coast to coast in the days ahead.
The Watch Duty app just kept buzzing, and I'm thinking, oh, it's Copper. Oh, it's south of here.
Like many Calaveras County residents who are used to getting wildfire alerts, Kimber Nealon thought the threat pinging her phone was farther away.
No, it's right in my next door. It's in my backyard.
But she soon found herself among those fleeing the path of the TCU September lightning complex fires in central California. CAL FIRE officials say at least 16 smaller fires comprise the blaze that's charred more than 13,500 acres across 3 counties.
It's very scary. It was, because we could have lost our horses and all of our vehicles at the same time. We're probably losing our home.
Lori Tomasevich lives in Chinese Camp, a historic gold rush town in Tuolumne County. Authorities say more than 300 people were forced to leave, and many buildings in the town were heavily damaged or destroyed. As of this afternoon, CAL FIRE says the TCU complex blazes are less than 20% contained overall. From fire to ice and massive baseball-sized hail that pounded parts of Wichita, Kansas Wednesday. This resident tells CNN, fortunately, her cars were in the garage, but she will have her roof inspected. Out in the Atlantic, the next potential named storm is brewing. The National Hurricane Center says there's an 80% chance a new tropical storm could form within a week. And if it does, it'll be named Gabrielle. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
And while crews in California are dealing with dangerous heat, gusty winds, and the threat of thunderstorms, it's a reminder of how quickly conditions can turn even here at home. We do have 3 crossroads counties that remain under a burn ban. Those are Lavaca, DeWitt, and Goliad counties. Outdoor burning is not allowed in those areas. In the counties that do not have a burn ban, anyone planning to burn should contact the proper authorities before doing so. And here's your viewer poll this afternoon. How concerned are you about the wildfire risk in your area? Just over half of you, 58%, say you're somewhat concerned. 28% say not concerned at all. And then half of that, 14%, say very concerned. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to let us know. And we'll have another look coming up on 25 News Now at 6. A Victoria County grand jury has indicted 42-year-old Victoria man on multiple sex and drug charges, some involving children. Prosecutors say Stephen Kaufman tried to traffic a child by sharing photos, her age, and location to set up sexual acts. He's also accused of having fewer than 100 images of child pornography, secretly taking photos of another person's private areas without consent, and possessing cocaine. Law enforcement authorities say Kaufman tried to flee and was tracked down by U.S. Marshals at a ranch in Cotulla, where he was arrested in late August, then transferred to the Victoria County Jail, where he is being held now without bond. The suspect in last weekend's Lone Tree Road shooting has been arrested. 31-year-old Charles Lee Brazil was wanted in connection to the shooting death of 23-year-old Tyler Gomez outside a Victoria business early Saturday morning. Today, U.S. Marshals with the Gulf Coast Violent Offender Fugitive Task Force caught Brazil in Brownsville. Authorities credit the quick arrest to a team effort involving the Victoria Police Department, U.S. Marshals, Houston and Brownsville Police, and intelligence from the FBI's San Antonio office. A suburban San Antonio mother is accused of fatally stabbing her 9-year-old son inside their home. 50-year-old Wilma Medina is charged with capital murder. Police say the boy's father, a police officer, called police to tell them his wife had stabbed their son early Wednesday. A police report also notes the father told investigators his wife had also stabbed herself. The boy was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. There's no word yet on a motive. Frisco police say a mother tried to cover up the death of her 15-month-old son after leaving him in a hot car for hours. Investigators say 30-year-old Vanessa Esquivel went to work on August 16th, leaving her child in the car. Surveillance video shows she did not return for more than 2 hours and later stopped at a McDonald's before finally taking her unresponsive son to the ER, where his body temperature was 106 degrees. Police say Esquivel told different stories to medical staff and investigators, but she is now charged with murder. Keep Victoria Beautiful is inviting residents to its 4th annual citywide fall sweep on September 20th from 8 to 10 a.m. To read the full article and get all the details, visit crossroadstoday.com. Texas lawmakers send a camp safety reform bill to Governor Greg Abbott's desk. The Heavens 27 Camp Safety Act would require youth camps to move cabins out of floodplains and set up emergency warning systems. The bill comes after the July 4th flooding along the Guadalupe River that killed more than 130 people, including 27 girls from Camp Mystic. Parents of those victims pushed lawmakers to act. Some camps worry about the cost of the changes, but others, including Camp Mystic, say the reforms are needed. Texas A&M University Victoria is celebrating the start of a new era tonight with JagFest. 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman joins us with the details.
Texas A&M University Victoria is kicking off the school year with music, food, and plenty of Jaguar pride. Tonight, Texas A&M University Victoria is hosting the first JagFest at DeLeon Plaza. The event runs from 6 to 9 p.m. in downtown Victoria and will feature live music along with food trucks and family fun. University leaders are also scheduled to give remarks at 7 p.m., highlighting the school's growth and future. As we all know, UHV made a huge transition with the Texas A&M system on September 1st, changing the name to Texas A&M Victoria and changing their logos. But tonight, they are celebrating that transition with school spirit and excitement for the future. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, we will be live to showcase the school spirit and hear from students about the transition. Shauna, back to you.
All right, thank you, Amaya. Looking forward to that. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. A key ingredient in gel manicures gets banned overseas due to safety risks. What this means for consumers. Plus, fall activities can lead to hidden dehydration risks. What a heart specialist wants you to know. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. today made his first appearance before lawmakers since the ousting of the leader of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Senators questioning Kennedy on the firing, as well as other actions taken under his leadership, including efforts to upend the nation's vaccine policies. ABC's Mola Lenghi has more.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. today grilled by both Democrats and Republicans on the Senate Finance Committee after making several controversial moves to transform the nation's public health agencies. Changes that many public health specialists say put our nation at greater danger.
We are the sickest country in the world.
Senators pressed Kennedy on his vaccine skepticism.
You're a charlatan. That's what you are.
I support vaccines. I'm a doctor. Vaccines work.
And on the upheaval at the Centers for Disease Control, including the firing of the CDC director, Susan Menares, who he spoke glowingly about when President Trump nominated her for the position and the Senate confirmed her appointment.
Did you, in fact, do what Director Menares said you did, which is tell her to just go along with vaccine recommendations, even if she didn't think such recommendations aligned with scientific evidence?
No, I did not say that to her.
So she's lying today to the American people in the Wall Street Journal?
Yes, sir.
Even senators who voted to confirm him expressed alarm at some of his recent moves at the health department, saying this includes limiting approval of COVID-19 vaccines to people at high risk for severe illness, including those over 65.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
You're wrong.
Kennedy defended his efforts at HHS, saying even with budget cuts and staff reductions, the agency is doing more with less.
We at HHS are enacting a once-in-a-generation shift from a sick care system to a true healthcare system that tackles the root causes of chronic disease.
Secretary Kennedy also criticized for saying he didn't know how many Americans died of the coronavirus during the pandemic. The secretary questioned the data around coronavirus deaths and whether COVID vaccines actually saved lives. According to the CDC, over 1.2 million Americans died from COVID-19 during the pandemic. Mola Lenghi, ABC News, Washington.
The European Union has banned the use of a key chemical ingredient in certain gel nail polishes and other cosmetic products. Regulators have classified the chemical known as TPO as a type of reproductive toxicant. TPO responds to light and it helps gel nail polish set under ultraviolet light. Some people may prefer gel nail polishes over regular nail polishes because the texture is harder, faster drying, and will generally last longer. The ban took effect this week. Getting health insurance through your job is about to get more expensive. Employer benefits consulting firm Mercer collected the numbers in a survey. It found workers can expect to pay on average an additional 6 to 7% in premiums next year. Some employers say they will try to limit those increases, but that typically means that you'll pay higher deductibles and out-of-pocket costs instead. Many companies are also offering workers more plan options, some of which have lower copays depending on the practitioner. The projected increase is the steepest cost hike in 15 years. Hydration is an essential part of overall health and well-being, but experts say people often associate it with summer because of the weather. But every time you sweat or go to the restroom, water is lost, and replenishing it is important year-round. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has ways to work hydration into your fall routine.
Yes, it's important to stay hydrated in the heat of summer, but drinking water is still critical to your health, even as the seasons change.
When you get really dehydrated, the blood volume is lower, and that's going to lead your heart to have to beat faster to circulate enough oxygen to your body.
Dr. Glenn Hirsch with National Jewish Health says that can put a lot of stress on the heart, especially in those who are more vulnerable from underlying medical conditions. Water helps the body keep a normal temperature. It also lubricates and cushions joints, protects the spinal cord and other sensitive tissues, and gets rid of waste through sweat or going to the bathroom.
Also, when the blood volume is down, you still have the same number of cells in your blood, so the viscosity in the blood will go up, and that can even lead to the blood pressure going up.
With fall events coming up, Hirsch says dehydration can creep up on you. To focus on fall hydration, he recommends pre-hydration. Start drinking at least 3 hours before you'll be in the sun or on your feet, and sip it throughout the day. Next, Hirsch says to limit alcohol and caffeine, which speed up fluid loss. If you choose to consume those beverages, make water your go-to drink in between. And finally, replenish those electrolytes.
And that can be by eating salty food like chips or electrolyte drinks, or even some of those supplements you can put into your water. Because at some point, if you're only drinking pure water and you're sweating a lot, your sodium level is going to drop, and that can actually be dangerous.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Hirsch says it's also important for those with underlying medical conditions to talk with their doctor about hydration. He says if you have kidney disease, diabetes, or are on medications like diuretics, that can change the amount of fluids you should consume in a day.
Well, on a hot day like this, I'm sure everybody was hydrated, right? Yeah, that's the whole message right about there. We are at 98 degrees. Yeah, I'd like a drink of water for that one too. Another hot day over the crossroads. I believe that 98 is our high temperature. Obviously, no surprise showers this afternoon, but we're going to be looking at the Pacific coast. Looks like Lorena is coming to Texas. We'll be talking about that after this. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Yes, we continue with this ridiculously hot weather, even though we're, unofficially in fall, but it's September. We should start cooling down, and things are going to get real interesting as we get to the weekend. As you can see, everything's quiet, sunny and hot over much of Texas, but on the West Coast, you can see lots of things happening. Yes, the storm, which is Tropical Storm Lorena right here, is beginning to fall apart. And like we said yesterday, we don't expect the storm to get here, but the remnants of it will likely affect you over the weekend. Tomorrow, still up to 98 degrees for Friday, but it's football Friday night. You'll be up in the stands once the sun goes, maybe a little umbrella for shade, but once the sun goes down, it should be a very nice evening. Getting up to 99 in Cuero and 101 out in Karnes City. Out in the Atlantic, this is going to be a tropical storm Gabrielle. As of today, though, the path of it has dropped a little bit farther south. As a result, the Caribbean islands are going to have to be watching that very carefully, but it is beginning to strengthen up as expected. So we'll look at the Pacific coast of Mexico, and you can see there is Lorena. Lorena has already passed Baja California, or rather Cabo San Lucas. It's in the middle part of the state, right about there. But the remnants are already moving ashore. You can see how they're getting cloud cover and rain in Arizona out of this already. You can see that huge swath of tropical moisture. Now they're having all kinds of problems down there. I mean, that is a desert country, so heavy rain causes immediate flooding, and they're getting a lot of people, obviously, out in the country didn't get the complete message, and so they're getting some animals, cattle that are being washed away because of the floods. So here is southern Arizona, southern New Mexico, shower activity already about to push into El Paso. The question is, when does it get here? And it's probably going to be on Sunday. Now, this is Saturday. You see right about there, excessive rainfall for all of West Texas. Now, if you're considering, or you have to drive out west, just consider you're going to be looking at quite a bit of thunder activity. And this is going to be one for the record books, okay? Then what I mean is that West Texas and this area, especially the hill country, continues to be on the dry side. So now, as a matter of fact, they're in a drought. But all of a sudden, they're going to get anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain, and it's going to be very interesting how that evolves. Now, for us, we expect it here on Sunday, and right now, the estimate rainfall is probably a little closer to 1 to 2 inches, okay? So that is what we expect down here. So that is still significant rain. Hopefully we won't have it all at one time, which causes the flooding problems. But as you can see, Victoria here, you go out west, places of West Texas are going to be looking at probably in the 4-inch range as we get through. Now, a future tracker will show you the storm center, or the remnants of it, come across the desert. They come across West Texas, and they start dropping down into our area, and we've got about 2 days of fairly solid rain, okay? Partly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 95, and in Cuero, you're getting up to 98. But when does it all get here? I believe we'll get a few showers Saturday, but the bulk of it will be Sunday, Monday. We have alert days up because we're expecting heavy rain on those 2 days. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone, and we'll toss it back to Shauna.
Well, still to come, retirement accounts reach new heights after recovering from spring losses. What this means for your financial future. A positive day for the market today. The Dow up 350 points, the S&P 500 up 54 points, and the Nasdaq up 210 points. Oil is down 63 cents to $63.34 per barrel. Early economic data from August is not painting the best picture of the economy. New metrics released today showed private sector businesses sharply reined in hiring last month. Payroll company ADP's report shows they added only half the number of jobs as they did in July. The Labor Department reports first-time claims for unemployment benefits also rose to an 11-week high, and last month was the worst August for layoff announcements since the Great Recession of the late 2000s. The latest data tees up an August jobs report that, when released Friday morning, is expected to show another month of lukewarm job gains. ConocoPhillips is planning to lay off up to 1/4 of its employees worldwide. The U.S. oil giant told workers the 20 to 25% reduction of its global workforce is part of a broad restructuring. ConocoPhillips has roughly 13,000 employees around the world. That means 2,600 to around 3,200 employees will be impacted. A spokesperson for the Houston, Texas-based company told USA Today the move is aimed at improving efficiency and that most of the layoffs will happen by the end of this year. There have been layoffs across the oil industry due to decreasing oil prices. BP said it planned to cut staff by 5% in January. Chevron reported up to a 20% cut in February. Well, stocks dropped in April when the Trump administration announced tariffs, but 401ks bounced back and did well in the first half of the year. At the end of June, the average 401k reached a record high of more than $137,000. That's up 8.4% from the $127,100 recorded at the end of the first quarter. These numbers are according to data on roughly 25 million Fidelity Investments accounts. The average balance grew by 4.6% from $131,700 at the end of last year. American Eagle's stock jumped 25%. The company credits a controversial ad campaign. The Good Genes commercial featuring actress Sydney Sweeney sparked buzz, with some calling the wordplay clever and others blasting it as deftone. Controversy aside, American Eagle says her gene collaborations sold out in days, boosting both sales and attention. And the retailer says this campaign is just the beginning, with more on the way this year. A new legal fight is brewing between two conservative media outlets. Newsmax has filed an antitrust lawsuit accusing Fox News of using its power in the pay TV market to block competition. The suit is claiming Fox pressures distributors with contracts that make it harder for rival conservative channels to get carried. Fox fired back, saying Newsmax cannot sue their way out of their own competitive failures. Newsmax is asking for damages and a court order to stop what it calls Fox's monopolistic practices. Well, still to come, when breakfast just cannot wait, one little boy took matters into his own hands. We'll have the sweet story ahead.
The heated confrontation on the Hill. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. grilled over his controversial vaccine policies, plus the record heat and fire danger in the West. World News Tonight with David Muir is the most watched newscast in America.
in Florida decided he was hungry. His tummy was rumbling a little bit. So he wandered out of his house to Chick-fil-A down the street for
Sure,
breakfast.
of course.
Restaurant staff called police, who found little William enjoying a meal with the manager. Since he could not give his address, only that his house had a white fence, officers drove him around until they found the right house. His parents were shocked that he had gotten out, but not in trouble. Deputies say they had safety measures in place, and it's just a reminder to teach children the basics like their last name, address, and phone number.
Yeah.
What's amazing is that he knew how to walk to Chick-fil-A.
He could get across the street for sure. He knew where it was. You know, in Boy Scouts, when I remember, one of the first things we learned was, what's your name? Where do you live? What's the closest place to
What's
your
your
house?
parents'
Those are important.
Yeah, what's your
Because
parents'
we
first
call,
name?
We call them mom and dad.
Along with
They have names.
everybody, you know, the other 50 moms
Exactly.
and dads at the store.
Well, glad that worked out, and he also got a Chick-fil-A out of
Yeah.
it. Did he get the special, the deluxe, or probably?
I don't know, breakfast sandwich of some sort.
All right, folks, one more hot day coming up for tomorrow, getting up to about 98, which is okay. It's Friday, of course. A lot of people going to football. That's great. It's going to be a little warm in the stands until the sun goes down. Sun goes down, you know, closer to 8 o'clock. So, you know, an umbrella for shade would be good. Saturday is a transition day. That's when the clouds begin to roll in, and we probably will have a few showers. But the main event should be Sunday and on into Monday, when we expect 1 to 2 inches of rainfall out of some tropical stuff coming from the wrong coast.
All right, so are those 80s going to feel cooler at all?
It'll be better. It'll be quite humid, though, after all that rain.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 6.